The word of the week this week is capitalism.
And this is Small Words.
Last week we took a look at what an economy actually is, taking a nice broad view. We got some feedback that it was a little bit light on content, but that was deliberate. The reason for that being, an economy is actually really simple. It's just a group of people trading stuff. We probably didn't spend enough time emphasizing this. We'll keep that in mind in future.
So this leads us into our next topic. This week we're going to be a little bit more specific on what we're talking about. So we're going to answer the seemingly eternal question: is capitalism evil? So first off, we need to figure out what capitalism actually is.
People need or want stuff, right? Well, capitalism is a way of getting stuff to people.
So remember in our last episode how people would trade each other stuff like haircuts and shoes and mixtapes, and then at the end of the deal everyone would walk away happier. Well, this is a prime example of capitalism at work. People make the stuff and choose where to sell the stuff for other stuff.
Capitalism distributes resources, stuff, as efficiently as possible.
This is what capitalism is. It's people getting the most amount of stuff for the least amount of money. Cha-ching. This is what economists call a capitalist economic model.
It seems good, right? We all swap stuff and get what we want. Houses, education, medicine, all keeping us healthy, wealthy, and wise. Well, here's where it gets a little bit murky.
Pure capitalism isn't really concerned about how goods are produced or even what goods are produced. It's really only concerned with profit. Now, the prime example of capitalism gone wrong is slavery.
Back in the day, a lot of people wanted slaves, and a lot of people were willing to sell them. People became stuff.
Also, did we mention the environmental damage being caused by some, not all, of the big corporations? And what's to stop people lying, cheating and swindling their way across the country? Now let's just back up to clarify one point. What exactly is some examples of capitalism?
It's this.
But it's also this.
It's this.
And it's also this.
And it's this.
But it's also this too.
So, as you can see, capitalism can have good results. Capitalism can have bad results.
So is capitalism good?
No.
Yes. Is capitalism bad?
No.
Yes.
Alright guys, so now let's have an actually useful conversation. How do we get capitalism to work well for us, as opposed to just work? This is why we need rules to shape capitalism into something useful and ethical.
There's a bare minimum foundation that we need to have in place in order for capitalism to work well in our society. These are: respect human rights. This means don't impede on someone's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, whether you love or hate the Yankees, they really got this bit right.
Secondly, we need people to honor their promises. Economists call this bit contract law.
Now finally, these laws have to apply equally to everyone. This is why a free democracy is so important. There must be equally fair consequences for those who don't honour their words. Think the GFC and these guys. We'll get to them in a later episode.
So these are the bare bones minimum of what it takes for an economy to work. If you remove one of these, then bad things start happening.
So from here, there are some goals that we need to set in order to get capitalism to work better for us.
We need to decide how we want our society to look. Do we want cheaper taxes, or do we want more affordable healthcare? For example, Germany, they have far higher healthcare costs because it's privatized. In the UK, healthcare is cheap as chips. It's socialized, and as such, the average citizen can afford it very easily.
So the second goal that we need to strive for is efficiency. And while we're on the topic of efficiency, both the German and the United Kingdom healthcare systems produce higher outcomes at a cheaper rate than the good old US of A. So as you can see, these two goals are vital to get right. You can't do one and ignore the other. And efficiency is usually the one that suffers. So don't leave it out. Donald Trump, don't leave it out.
So the question becomes, what rules or policies do we put in place to achieve these outcomes? How do we make capitalism work for us? This leads to a whole conversation about capitalism versus socialism, but this is another episode.
Suffice to say, capitalism is a handy tool. Just like a buzzsaw, you can use it to build, or you can use it to wreak havoc. The choice is yours.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wrap up. Capitalism is people trading stuff for profit.
Capitalism needs some fundamental game rules to make it work. We also need some goals and come up with some policies to help us achieve those said goals. In this way, we can make capitalism work for us rather than harm us.
So don't be afraid of the word capitalism, but don't idolize it either. Have some conversations with your friends and family about how we can make capitalism work for us.
So on next week's episode, we're going to be talking about money. What is it? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it both? And remember,
use small words.